one duo. It's Tifa and Cloakzy! Your Fortnite World Champion, Booga!
FNCS Invitational Champions, Seti and Cammy!
You are our 2023 Global Champions! Lift that trophy!
What's up guys, welcome back to another video of Vaders. In this video, I'll be showing you guys the entire history of competitive Fortnite. Let's get right into it. There's nothing better to start out with than Season 0. Now this is around Season 1, 0, and 2. Now this technically is Season 0 before seasons were established, and this is before any tournaments at all happened. There's no competitive, just fun with friends. So we're only going to lightly go over this. Maybe some wagers were made, but that's not actually what we're talking about. Now we're going into the main start of competitive Fortnite, the early days. So we started out with Fortnite Fridays, which is when you would go into a squads game with 2 other people with you. So you would have your duo, and there would be another duo on the other team. You would compete for kills and try to get the win, and sometimes we would go through a few games. Whatever duo got the most kills in the end would win the Friday Fortnite and a very small amount of money. Now this is before any actual Fortnite tournaments, so there was no compete tab, there was no cash cups, definitely no FNCS. This was the only format of tournaments they had. Up until the skirmishes. So now there were 3 skirmishes that were LAN event, that are basically invite only, so only the best of the best could go. And these were worldwide events, so there's different people from different areas. And there was the fall skirmish, the summer skirmish, and the winter skirmish. All of these were held in very small stadium-like areas, where you would have about 100 people, and it was really basic. Now, these tournaments did not have an insanely large prize pool, because they didn't have a whole lot to put out, but the community seemed to be liking these types of tournaments, so Fortnite decided they would bring a better phase. Now we are going into the World Cup era. Now this starts off with the first cash cups ever, the Blackheart Cup and the Scallywag Cups. And these were really small, and there was quite a few of them to happen, and some of the youngest pros made their name because tournaments changed from, I think, 16 years of age to 13. So now much younger players could compete, and they show themselves in these cups. Now the name of this era is the World Cup era, so obviously the World Cup was in here. $40 million prize pool here. Largest, it was in the Arthur Ashe Stadium, and is still the largest tournament to ever happen in Fortnite history. Obviously, you know, Booga won solos, and Aqua and Nyrox took the duos trophy home. Now this was the turning point for very important competitive future. This is before FNCS, any more formal cash cups. This started the whole competitive run because they realized Fortnite realized people love this so much, why not keep it going? Now we're in the FNCS transition. Season X kicked us off with an FNCS, and it is a memorable one, but not a liked one. Now this one had the mechs in it, which made it nearly unplayable, and they had several hundreds of thousands of dollars in qualifiers. So MMB, Mongrel Metro, and Benji Fishy, they landed the really overpowered retail row, and they managed to make more money than in qualifiers and actually in grands. Now this wouldn't be the best FNCS to happen, especially because it was squads. It was mostly boring and chaotic, so they decided to switch things up in Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, they kept FNCS as a regular thing going that would happen near the end of every season, and would be a memorable thing to work for and try to qualify to. And there would be regular cash cups, like duo cash cups, daily cash cups, solo cash cups, even some trios ones. But in Chapter 2, they switched between solos, duos, and trios the entire time. There was not a consistent pattern like there is now. This era seemed to be one of the competitive primes of Fortnite because of its massive loot pool and rotation items. It's seen as mostly fun, along with the epic POIs, and honestly the interesting mythics they had the whole time too. Many notable players made their rise here, such as Vino. Mongo made more and more earnings here as he won his Chapter 2 Season 4, first and only FNCS that he has. Stark season seen was the most favorite seasons. And there was just a whole lot going on with competitive because this is around 2020 and online tournaments were all the rage. Unfortunately though, there was not a follow-up LAN event or World Cup to happen from Fortnite, so that was a bit of a disappointment from this chapter. Now to Chapter 3, they continued FNCS in this 4-season chapter. They had regular Cash Cups and Arena, but Comp was barely getting any attention. As compared to the previous seasons, Chapter 3 was not seen as one of the greater ones. Booga continued his streak, which is really good to see, but the most important thing happened at the end of this chapter. Now this was the first LAN event in so long, the FNCS 2022 Invitational. Cammy and Sandy ended up taking home the win here, managing to beat out Queasy and Veno for the win, but it was just barely, and it really brought joy for Fortnite fans to finally see an in-person event after so long, almost 3 years. Now in Chapter 4. Season 1 of this chapter was mostly bland with a few good POIs, but everybody mostly thought that it was kind of a Chapter 3 rebrand up until Season 2. Season 2 brought change, and some say too much of it. This season including adding Fortnite's first and only official ranked mode, as compared to the Arena one, which isn't really ranked, it's more about points. And they switched up something again that didn't make the community happy, and as well as the change from Arena didn't make the community happy either. This change was the central servers. Now before there was East and West servers, 2 different tournaments, and West wasn't as good as East just in terms of player, so they got, less money in terms of prize pool. Fortnite decided to make the decision to combine them, which made it worse for many players, including myself, going from about 30 ping, kinda closest to the East Coast, to about 60 to 70 ping. Now this happened for much people, including people that have to play in Canada, or just don't have enough money to move, or don't want to move away. They're kind of stuck in a hard position here. Everybody who's not in Texas or north-ish Mexico will not have a good ping. Now they decided to carry on the lands here from last chapter with the FNCS Globals. Now this can be revamped to World Cup if you just change it a little bit, FNCS to Worlds and Globals to Cup, but many people still want it to be called World Cup. Don't know why. Though the lag was an insane factor in this tournament. It was impossible to watch, and I bet almost impossible to play. But Miro and Cooper ended up taking this win here, and they did really good in the tournament. People had high hopes coming into Chapter 5 that they would be more like this. Now we're going to Chapter 5, or present day. No major changes were added to the season in terms of new mobility or movement, but the new movement that was added in terms of slow walking that nobody liked and was removed quickly. But the first season got lots of viewers and competitors. EU servers crashed during it, with almost 1 million players trying to compete in FNCS, which is numbers they've never seen before. This can be mostly accounted for because of Fortnite OG bringing so many millions of players. They transferred to Season 1, but as chapter went on, more and more players decided to leave this season or chapter behind, as it got kind of bland and more complicated. Season 2 of this chapter came and went very quickly, Peterbot picking up an easy win, winning by a large amount with the overpowered coin medallion. This season's FNCS just happened. By the time of this recording, it'll probably already happen, you would know the winners. But many people were not happy with the season because of the Nitro Fist, the Nitro, and the amount of bugs that happened during this season. So it hasn't been a great series of seasons happening for Fortnite Comp. Definitely not their best, but we're hoping they can bring it home for Season 4 and give us a great one to go with the FNCS Globals happening there. Guys, this was my video of the entire history of Fortnite Competitive. Now, it's kind of shortish, so if you want to see an extended version and more how-to videos, make sure to drop a comment and I'll make sure to look at them and answer them whenever you need. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.